My name is John Rosenhan. I am about 46 years old in October. I'll be 46 in October. I've owned a couple of different construction companies. I still own, or I am a general contractor as of right now, and I also own a manufacturing company. So I have spent a lot of time at home and working from home, which has kind of been a problem because it makes you lazy. And so the lifestyle that I had was very active as a contractor and being in construction regularly. But then once I started doing more of the business side of it and stopped doing more of the physical work, that was when things kind of started to tank for me about 5 or 6 years ago. And I just thought, gosh, I'm not as healthy as I used to be. I can't go like I used to. What happened? It was obvious. I'd just gotten a different change in lifestyle, a change in the way I was actually doing things. They say working harder or working smarter instead of harder is a benefit, not in this circumstance. I started to get bigger, and I put on some weight after being about 190 pounds, give or take. I ballooned up to somewhere in the 230 area, and it was just all right here in my gut. And I didn't look or feel like myself anymore. So that was when I decided, let's get some gym equipment, let's start working out. Well, let's start getting healthy, and it just didn't seem to matter what it is that I did. I was getting results, just nothing in the way of extreme results. You know, you see these guys on the cover of magazines, or you see these guys that are 15% body fat, and you're like, why am I not looking like that? For as hard a work as I'm putting in, why am I not getting there? So that was kind of when I thought, well, let's start changing up my diet and see if that's it. Is it really true that it's 80% diet, 20% workout? Don't be fooled. It is actually 90% diet, in my opinion, because that was what made the actual huge change for me. So I was able to put muscle on, and I was able to lose all of the weight. I'm 2 bills now, feeling pretty strong and feeling a hell of a lot younger than 46. I didn't find 1% Fitness until a couple of years ago. There was a Vasa built out where I live, and they were supporters of 1% Fitness. They had signs up everywhere. And I did not give it one thought. I was already doing my own meal prep. I was already seeing some results and thought, well, I'll probably be okay with what it is that I'm doing. But I called the number and talked to a couple of gentlemen there a couple of years ago. And since then, I've been on it regularly, off and on, and it has been the actual, it's been the catapult that's pushed me from what was at one time 22% body fat down to right about 17% body fat, and still shrinking. I'm still on the plan right now. I'll probably jump off for a week and then jump back on, and that's what I like about it. It's how versatile it is. You can be on it for a couple of weeks, off and on. There's no commitments there to them. It's, hey, how serious are you about getting healthy? And if you're serious about it, you stay on it for a period of time, take a break, and get back on it, so that you can make those changes and your body can make the changes on its own. At one time, I couldn't even eat the meals. They seemed so big. You know, I was eating them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just a hell of a lot of food. How am I going to be able to process all of this? Now I can't get enough of them. It's gotten to the point where I am hungry all the time, which is pretty awesome, because you know, when you feel like you're hungry all the time, like you're going to be gaining weight or getting fat and everything, that's the exact opposite. The food that they prepare for you is, everything's counted out for you. Your macros are all counted out for you. So there is no threat there. You know what it is that you're getting. There's no guesswork involved in it at all. The high protein helps me control my protein intake. I got to get at least 200 grams of protein in order to put on size, especially a guy my age. So for them to be able to help me by getting me the high calorie count, getting me the actual macros I need to help me reach my goals was imperative. The portion control has also helped train me on my own how to monitor and watch my portion control. So even when I'm not on the plan, it still influences my decision making and how I eat, which is pretty cool. Before my health journey, I had already put on more weight than I should have and was already starting to drag in the way of energy. I did not have it during the day. There was nothing I wanted more once I got up was to go back to bed. The energy level was just very, very low. And even though I ate, I still ate like garbage for the most part. McDonald's, you eat, I'm gone all the time, so it's difficult for me to prep these meals and still keep them in containers and carry them with me. It's different with 1%. I'm able to carry that stuff with me in a little cooler. I've made adjustments. If you're going to commit, you got to commit. I felt terrible. And when I made the commitment to start changing my lifestyle, again, 1% Fitness came in a little bit later. But like I said, they were the ones, and that meal plan is what actually pushed me over the edge and got me thinking, okay, calorie intake, okay, protein intake, where am I on my carbs? I started actually paying attention to these things to the point where it started to drive me towards better food. It just made it a lot easier for me to count my calorie intake, my carb intake, all of the macros. That was when it started getting serious for me, and that was when it started to make the actual change. So, I mean, kudos to them for helping me see food for what it really was just a fuel source to power me through my day. I started feeling 100% better, 100%. I mean, I'm getting through my days now, and I'm ready. I'm still going after 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., which is not normal for me in the past, in the unhealthy stage. Unhealthy me, I wouldn't be able to make it past 9 or 10 without crashing on the couch. But you know, now that the health food has been involved in my recovery, I guess you can say, as a fatty, it's really helped put me over the edge. Before 1% Fitness, I did try prepping food myself. I found that it took a lot of extra time, more so than I thought it would. The food was rather bland. I'm not all that great of a cook. I don't have the variety that these guys do, especially, you know, their chili, some of the other ideas that they actually have I'd have never thought of. As far as other plans go, I've tried keto. Some of that stuff just didn't seem right to me. How can I eat bacon and expect to get thin? Not that it isn't possible, because it seems like it's working for some people and good for you. I don't have that much self-control. So it's more along the lines of just put it in front of me, already made for me to eat, and I'm good to go, which is exactly what 1% does. The convenience of it, I think, is what really helps, because with my busy schedule, it's difficult for me to stay home, prep, or be home on days that I am supposed to be prepping. I'm spending that time with my family. I'm doing more important things with my time, I think, than prepping for my food for the coming week. And some of the other diets, starving yourself diet, the tea diet, they haven't worked. They haven't worked because it takes a lot more than self-control. It takes a lot of your prep time. It takes a lot of your time to think about it. It's not readily available for you to eat and for you to just move on, which that's one of the major players for me with 1%, is that it is there, it's in my fridge, it takes 2 seconds to warm it up, and I'm done. I'm eating it and I'm gone. Whereas other meal plans, it was, well, let's prep it or prepare it either while you're doing it or beforehand, and it's just not as good. The reason I didn't sign up sooner for 1% Fitness is that I was a skeptic. I wasn't really sure that that was the direction that I needed to go. Would it work for me? Was it going to be like any other plan that I've either done, heard of, or seen, or eaten? And when I thought, well, there's really no commitment here. It's a pretty decent deal. $100 for a week, $300 for 3 weeks, for 5 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. How can I go wrong with that? So let's try it out and see if it works. And I got to tell you, the first 3 weeks, I liked the food. It was great, but I didn't see any results. So I'm kind of still, I don't know, I'll try it again. So I stayed on the train for 6 weeks, and it wasn't till week 4 where my body just kicked in. And then all of a sudden, my body reacted to this food. I was hungry all the time. My body was eating its own fat for its fuel source. I could see it in the mirror. I think that's where it's more important to anyone else. It's more important to anyone that they see the results in the mirror. And like I said, being a skeptic, I was like, oh, fine, I'll give it another couple of weeks and see what happens. But like I said, right in the middle of week 4 was when it just all changed. I'm like, dude, I am staying on this for life if I can, because it seriously just changed everything at that point. And that was, as soon as you start seeing results is when you want more. You're hungry for more. You want to see just how far you can take it and how far 1% Fitness can take you. I mean, it took me from being a fatty to not so fatty. So I mean, I can't really complain. I put in the work, but at the same time, I don't think that I would have really had to work out all that hard to still lose the body fat that I did being on this plan. If there's one thing that I've learned, it's the proof is in the pudding. You got to see it. And I've been telling everybody that I know, because they ask, how are you getting so much, how are you getting the results that you're getting? And the first words out of my mouth is not hard work, or I hit the gym every day. I do those things. But the very first thing that I tell them was 1% Fitness. And the reason why I tell them that is because it has had the biggest impact on helping me achieve my goals. So I do tell anyone, and I will tell anyone who asks, and anyone who doesn't ask. I'll be more than happy to tell anyone that if you want to make the changes and you're serious, then change your diet. And 1% is the way to go with that. It's convenient. The food is awesome. It tastes great. You don't have any trouble prepping it. And you get all the results and more that you can possibly imagine out of just a bag of food that you take home with you on a weekly basis. There isn't anything better.